ease your pain, get you on your feet again. Relax, I need some information first. Just the basic facts. Can you show me where it hurts? There is no pain, you are receding. A distant ship smoke on the horizon. You are only coming through in waves.
Make the pinch. Porter comes in a tent. Joe smokes, reads some notes. Mitchie showed his new shoes, put 'em up in the air. Smile, gold tooth. Miss Shirley says you guys need to stop. Laughs and walks off down the hall. She goes to dispense. He waits and slips the keychain off the wall. The keychain off the wall.
Happy to, first of all, be joining us tonight as our special guest is the Australian Pink Floyd show. We have Colin and Jason with us. Welcome.
G'day. G'day.
Yes, and now, do you go by Aussie Floyd? Is that what you prefer to be called, or?
Well, you know, the full name of the band is the Australian Pink Floyd Show, but that, you know, quite often we just use Aussie Floyd, and our website is aussiefloyd.com, so either or is fine with us.
I see. And I wanted to mention that you are a top-selling band. Also, you have performed for over 4 million people in 35 countries. That is pretty amazing.
It certainly is. I mean, we've been doing it for a long time now, and so I was surprised how many people we play to these days.
Yes. Well, welcome once again to World Exposure with Cher Dial. And let's get started. If you could introduce yourself for the audience.
Well, my name's Jason Sawford, and I am the keyboard player.
Okay.
And I'm Colin Wilson, and I'm the bass guitarist, and I do some of the vocals.
Okay, well, let's get started. Now, the Australian Pink Floyd show started in 1988, and then it reformed kind of in a way in 1992. And what was it about the reformation that made it better in 92, do you think?
I think we just had a little bit of a break, but decided that what we were doing was a good thing. And a lot of people remembered what we did earlier. So I think we just decided to get together and do what we wanted to do, which was play music for a living. And so we just got together and travelled a bit around Australia and then came to the UK. And it sort of took off from there, really.
Sure. And Colin, you joined in 92 also. And were you a graphic designer for the band?
Actually, I did some graphic design work for the band right at the beginning in '88, long before I became a member of the band.
Oh, okay.
Because I was friends with Steve, who was one of the original members already, and I was working as a graphic designer at the time. So I used to go and see these guys in Adelaide, where we're all from. And then, sort of late on in '92, they'd done this tour of Australia that Jason just mentioned. And were looking for a bass player because the one they had at the time couldn't commit to doing further work with them. So I joined and started rehearsing with them like early '93, and then we made the move over to the UK in August '93, which was I guess that's kind of when we really got serious about it and made a big commitment to it.
Right. Did you have any idea when you started this band that it would become so huge?
Not at all. Not at all. When I joined, I was at university. I thought I'd play in a band with some guys playing Pink Floyd just for fun, really, just do round pubs around Adelaide. I would never have imagined that here I am, like 27 years later, travelled around the world with it and all these arenas and things.
Yeah, I think we always obviously when I joined, I know the guys had pretty big dreams and big goals and set themselves big goals, but nobody ever expected this to happen by any means.
Yeah, that is amazing. And Colin, were you in also a Guns N' Roses tribute band?
Yeah, I was for a couple of years in the early '90s, I was in a Guns N' Roses tribute band and we had all the hair and stuff. And I actually, yeah, I got to travel quite a bit in Australia doing that as well. So I, played quite a bit around Australia before I joined with the Floyd guys.
Sure. Now, Jason, in what way did Pink Floyd affect you while you were growing up? Is it a band you listened to a lot?
I didn't actually listen to a lot of Pink Floyd until sort of my late teens, really. It was my brother's girlfriend at the time. She was Pink Floyd mad, and she would play it all the time. That's how I got to know the music. And then it was after listening to the music that I saw this advertisement for a band that wanted a keyboard player to play Pink Floyd, and I thought, well, that's really interesting. I think I'll go along to this with my new keyboard and say hello and see what happens.
And all this.
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
And what about you, Colin? Were you a Pink Floyd fan?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I had a good friend in high school that had a copy of Dark Side of the Moon, and we used to listen to that on Friday nights, kind of thing, with the lights all turned off. And I always liked the just the kind of the sound that they made, and the fact that they sounded so different to every other band, and also from my graphic design kind of background, I always really liked their album covers, and I used to.
Yes. That
was almost as much as an attraction to me as the music at the beginning. I used to really think that a band that had album covers like that were really interesting.
Once again, we are here with Colin and Jason of the Australian Pink Floyd Show, and we are going to take a quick break, and we will be right back after these messages.
Stay put, more to come. World Exposure with Cher Dial. We'll be right back.
Rocking the world with L.A. Nick, a traveling aficionado, a professional entertainment personality, a goodwill ambassador,
of this city to Japan.
an entrepreneur, an author, a creator, the ultimate scenester, the people's politician, the mayor of nightlife. Watch L.A. Nick as he chronicles his adventures right here on World Exposure.
We're back. And now more World Exposure with Cher Dial.
One of these days, mate, I'm gonna cut you into flaming pieces.
And we are again with the Australian Pink Floyd Show with Colin and Jason, and we are having a great conversation. Now, Jason, I heard that there is one thing you always wear on stage, and what is that?
Well, it's a hat. Yeah,
a hat.
It's, originally I bought a sort of like an Australian Akubra hat in Cairns in Queensland on that original Australian tour that we did. And I wore that for years until it kind of got a bit sort of crumpled, and I thought about donating it to a museum or something. But I've still got it. I still got it as a souvenir. And if I hadn't worn it, people said, "Where's your hat?" So I started wearing this hat.
Oh.
I've had several over the years, but they've got sentimental value for me, really.
Yeah, definitely. Well, of course, I saw that on your app. You have a app of the. It's called TAPFS, the Australian Pink Show. And what a great app that is. Do most people know that you do have an app for your band?
I think that's getting around. I think we
It's great.
at our shows we have a little advert for it that before and the show and during the interval in the show on the big screen, just to get people to kind of, we're trying to move with the times, and most people do things with their phones these days and not so much on computers. So
Sure.
it's nice to have an app where people can find out where we're playing and when and how they can get tickets and a little bit of information about us. And there's a quiz on there that's, for the people that want to sort of have a bit of a laugh with us. And,
It's fun. Exactly.
Yeah. So that's I don't know how many bands have apps these days. I guess everyone's doing it now, but yeah, it's a fun thing to have.
Stage show is absolutely elaborate. You fill stadiums, special effects, you have inflatables and everything. How long does that take to set up, and what input do you guys have with the setup?
Well, on a day-by-day basis, the setup is the lighting crew get into the venue about 8:30 in the morning. We sound check at about 4 o'clock every day, so everything's up and running by then. And then we do the show, and it all gets torn down and packed away in the trucks and on to the next venue. So it's like a well-oiled machine. We've got a great, amazing support crew. As far as the input into the content of that, we're very much hands-on that, and we have a lot of input on the content of the video, and we make a lot of the video stuff ourselves to conjure up the kind of Pink Floyd atmosphere of the show. We try not to copy Pink Floyd directly, but we try and do things that seem as though Pink Floyd may have done those things, because some of the songs we're doing, there's no reference point, there's no live version that we can watch to see what they did.
I see.
So we have to come up with our own things that the audience are going to accept as being a Pink Floyd type of visual, So, yeah, but we're very much involved in that, very much.
I bet it is so neat, though, to see the audience, and when you walk out on stage, what a feeling it must be to just see thousands and thousands of people there for you. It's got to be absolutely amazing.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, really.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the thing that made us want to do this in the first place, was kind of sharing this with other Pink Floyd fans, and then getting that feedback from them on a nightly basis is really what it's all about.
Thank you so much for joining us today. And I wanted to ask you about meeting David Gilmour and what that was like for you.
Yeah, the first time we met him, we were doing a show in London, and we hadn't actually been in the UK for very long, but we finished our show and we were sitting backstage having a beer, and then there was a knock on the door, and the door opened, and David Gilmour just popped his head round the corner and says, hello, do you mind if I come in? And of course we recognised him, and it was incredible. We all just thought, it was an unforgettable experience when he came in and he brought his entourage and he had a beer, and we had a chat, and then a few years later we did a show for him and his birthday party. So that was a great experience.
Oh, I bet. Were you at all nervous and thinking, like, what's he thinking or what's he saying? Or
yeah, absolutely. And we were really thankful that we didn't know he was at the show, because if we'd known, we probably would have been quite nervous.
Yeah, really.
So we were thankful for that. But then, like Jason said, he came back and he was just really like an ordinary guy, and very talkative and interested in what we were doing, slightly bemused about why we were doing it. And we'd played a couple of songs that he said he hadn't even listened to himself for a long time, and he enjoyed hearing them. And he made the comment that it was like being in the audience at one of his own shows, which he'd never been able to do before. So
I really do appreciate you taking the time to join us here on World Exposure with Cher Dial. And can you tell the fans where they can find out the information, and also your app, which I think they should go to? Yeah,
well, I guess the main port of call is aussiefloyd.com, and then there's obviously the links from that to our Facebook and Twitter and YouTube channels, and the app as well. I mean, the app is available in the App Store. I guess if you type in Aussie Floyd or Australian Pink Floyd into the App Store, you're going to find that. So, but yeah, the main first port of call is the AussieFloyd.com.
Yeah, AussieFloyd.com. That will have all the information and all the links and all the news and everything that people need. And then
that's great. Well, what a joy you were, and I'm going to look for you when you come up to Minneapolis sometime. Hopefully, in the 2016 tour.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
say hello.
Yeah, excellent.
Oh, thank you guys. You are so nice. And like I said, you got a lot of fans up here and in the world, and congratulations for all your success.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll talk to you soon.
Okay. See you
Bye.
later.
Thanks.
Stay put, more to come. World Exposure with Cher Dial will be right back.
Hair trends, hair transformation, and hair tranquility begin at Hair Trinity. Hair Trinity Salon, located in New Brighton, offers you elegant, sophisticated, and business stylings to crazy, sexy, cool. Provided by certified stylists that help you create your own style in your image, because one style doesn't fit all. Affordably priced for all hair and types. Hair Trinity Salon, located at 1437 Silver Lake Road in New Brighton.
We're back, and now more World Exposure.
Yeah, okay. Boom, boom, bam, bam. Are you okay, man? You land nickels, upside down pants. You land, that's a miracle. She's off and running. There's miracle, ricochet of her and him. You're curling in a swallowing bed. Ascend up the stairs. You can hear them speaking in undertones. You're underfed. Boom, boom, bam, bam. Boom, boom. Bam, bam.
And I would just like to welcome the Lonesome Kid from Minneapolis, Minnesota to World Exposure with Cher Dial today. And we're so happy to have you.
We're happy too. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, speaking of your set now, I know, Gretchen, along with your great musical career, you also are a painter.
Yep, I am a painter. Have always painted. Yeah, there's paintings are taking over this place. So
yeah, that's great though.
Ship them out of here. Yeah.
It's absolutely beautiful. So maybe you could tell us a little bit now. I know, Gretchen, you for years were a part of the band Patches and Gretchen,
Yep.
and now you have started this new project. Maybe you could introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about how this project began.
Okay, I'm Gretchen Segrist, and yeah, my former band was Patches and Gretchen, and then I, a year ago, in May, started the Lonesome Kid, and this is Christopher Thompson.
Hi, Chris.
And he plays piano, bass, guitar, sings, whatever.
Whatever's needed.
What else? And then
everything.
This is Jules Dodd. So can you see him?
Yeah, perfect. Hi, Jules.
And he's our guitar player, and he's from Argentina.
Oh.
So we went down there and got him.
You went to Argentina to get him. No,
In a
long
way.
way.
No.
No. All right. So now, what made you decide to move to a different point of the Lonesome Kid, and where did the name come from? Did that come from some part of you moving on from Patches and Gretchen to this new project?
I think it came from a few different things. So there's the easy answer is that there was this person I would see on a regular basis when I was driving. Who had this T-shirt on, the Lonesome Kid, and he always, there was something about he was always in the same spot every day, and there was this whole as a painter or whatever, it looked like a photograph or a painting, so it stuck in my head. At the same time, I think that it sort of put a title on what I was feeling about. Sort of the world in general, kind of like how people were interacting with each other, that everyone was sort of had this sort of loneliness of not being connected with each other. So there was that sort of symbolic thing. And then I think then the other thing was probably my own, you can't get that out of there. Getting in touch with your own your own hurt part, your own emotional part, your child part, all that stuff. The symbolism of that.
Exactly. What point did you all start to get into music? Have you been into music, all of you, from such an early age that you knew this is what you wanted to do?
I think these would all be individual answers. But,
right. Mm-hmm.
So yes, for me, yeah, always, kind of that and painting or, yeah. I couldn't figure when I was a kid, I always knew I would be doing these things. I just couldn't figure out, so it was like, I want to be a singer, but then I want to be this. So how's that going to work? And then somehow it works. So Christopher?
I would say all my life, that was something that I knew I was going to be doing. I never dreamed that I'd be doing it as a career. You get these messages of you can't do it as a career, but you can. And there are people that do it, and I think it's a thing that you can play. It's forgiving to your age. You can play until you're 90. There's people that play until they drop dead on the stage. And
yes.
That's our plan.
That's our goal.
Really. And now you, from being from Argentina, how did that work for you? Were you always into music, even in Argentina?
Yeah. I always like play music.
Right. Uh-huh. Now, I know you're a huge Dylan fan, and how has that affected you? And have you ever met him since you are in Minnesota here?
No, I've never met him. It's affected me just, I think, in a sense because it was like the one thing when I was younger that I could look towards when nothing else was really, it was like, okay, that I'm not interested in being like that. I'm not interested. So role model in the sense of, not necessarily everything, I don't know how to say everything he's done, but just that you do get the feeling he did whatever he wanted to do.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I mean, so in that sense that if he wanted to, change at any time, and then there's the whole thing of that he was always changing. So that, I think, as that model, I needed to look to someone like that. And I always make some sort of goal for myself, which is like, let's just go for the best. So if there is somebody I want to meet or play with, or it'll be him. So I'm still working on that. But it isn't so much to be a fan or anything. I don't want to sit in a room and stare at him or anything.
No.
I'd actually like him to sing some of my songs or something,
Exactly.
Or whatever.
Stay put, more to come. World Exposure with Cher Dial. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm John Maravillas, and if you're looking to get fit and improve your health, it's as easy as 3 simple steps. 60% nutrition, 40% working out, and 100% commitment. That's Fit for Life. What makes Fit for Life different? We specialize in getting your metabolism higher, even when you're not working out. Through our scientific and time-tested techniques, we've integrated a 30-minute workout that gives you the benefit of multiple hour sessions. Unlike other fitness studios, we combine strength training to tone, cardio to burn off fat from your stomach and hips, and nutrition planning and consulting to accelerate your results and make them permanent.
Hi, I'm Allison. I took the Fit for Life Challenge and lost 65 pounds.
And I'm Christy. I did too, and I lost 100 pounds.
I back my promise of unparalleled fitness with an unconditional 90-day money-back guarantee. If you're not completely satisfied with your results, you don't pay a dime. Call me today and get fit for life.
We're back. And now more World Exposure with Cher Dial.
Once again, we are here with the Lonesome Kid. We are here with Gretchen, Jules, and Christopher from Minneapolis talking on World Exposure with Cher Dial today. And now I want to get into your music and your new release. Maybe you can tell us about that, because I know it's something you're very proud of, and it's very, very good. I've been listening to it, and it's very different, and I know how excited you're about it. So maybe you could tell us how you three got into this project.
Okay, so like I said before, a year ago, Christopher was in the band Patches and Gretchen with me, which I guess had been going on for 8 years or so. And then, so someday, and I just decided, you know what? Just because it is already established and everything, it's time to just throw it away, because that will make, you know, things rise to another level, to be like really have uncomfortable and not know, you know, at the starting point again. So he came over one day and I was like, Patches and Gretchen's over. We're the Lonesome Kid. We're going south.
You just kind of told them.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah. And then I said, and I want to go south and make another album. And it really was like that fast. So I kind of tend to kind of go like, what is it that I want to do? Because we were talking about earlier, when you're like sort of free from trying to please anyone, you can just...
Yes.
So I wanted to go south, and Christopher said right away, I think he just was like, yes, you know.
Yeah.
And so then that's what happened. So we had Lonesome Kid, and I said, well, we have to make an album, and we hadn't have any of the songs. So, but we said we'd make an album, and then like in a month, we found a place in Mississippi that we wanted to go.
Mississippi.
Yeah, Water Valley, Mississippi, which kind of same thing. I just kind of, it was a real intentional thing to find a certain type of place and a certain type of person to take the music to the next level. I didn't want to repeat myself and do Patches and Gretchen again. I wanted to kind of put that unknown thing where I would have to rise to the occasion. I'd be uncomfortable. So that's what we did. And then we found this, you know, sort of by luck, but also sort of, I kind of knew we were going to find this place. I kind of saw it in my head, really. This little place in Water Valley, Mississippi, Dialback Sound. And these are the guys who did a Fat Possum record label with a lot of these blues guys down there, and had kind of a side studio. So I talked to the guy Bronson who runs the studio, and it was just like automatic, like, you know, that thing right away. So we went down there, and you know, we hadn't written the album, so as soon as we set the date, wrote the album.
Really, you wrote it after that?
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about some of the songs. Lost in the Shuffle.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked that song. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, that's one you were talking about. I remember we, so I had this thing in my head, and this, and I went to Christopher, and this was before we'd always sort of been on the guitar writing songs, and this was a piano written song. And I remember the different parts, putting those together, and at the point, like, I could tell what you were saying, that, like, how does this part go with, I don't get it, right? So
that's when he was terrified.
Yeah, right. And the thing I'd say about him is that there is that element where, I think this is true for other people I've worked with, you know, like, I already know that they can do it. You know, I know, like, how brilliant they are, and I'm not just trying to say, but, like, I know that if you get the thinking out of your way, and so, I mean, that's what the thing, I think that as an artist, that I've just learned to do that. And a lot of Patches and Gretchen stuff, which were improv based. So that's a real tool. If you can get the thinking about what you're doing out of the way, then you just naturally know what to do, especially as you get older and you have experience and you relax, and that improvisational thing comes in. And that's kind of what happened to when we started writing songs on the piano.
What about the song Baby Me? That's another great feel. And I know a lot of your songs, they have really different moods and different feels. So it's not like when you listen to the songs, it's all the same. They're all different, all upbeat, downbeat, everything. And I think that's the beauty of the whole album.
Yeah, I mean, I like that a lot about the album, which is, to me, it just represents, you know, my changing personality. And I always,
that's true, yeah.
And everybody's, you know, but and then also that idea that's an outward sort of construction too, that a person has to sort of pick all these rules, like you have to pick this sort of thing if you're worried about making it, you know. But if you don't worry about that, then you're free to explore and experiment and go with all that different stuff. So I mean, I think that'll always be the case, and you know, that's something that just is like, I just want to, that's the excitement of something. So, like, if we were doing the same thing, we would be less excited about it, and that would probably, you know, show in the music, right? When you're you know, you can see people when they're bored with their own stuff, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, okay, so I'm bored too, right?
I'm
or
up here playing this again for
Yeah.
the 50th time, you know.
Yeah, you're trying to be like this person, or you know, and I don't mind will explore imitating those iconic rock people, but then I kind of want to break that apart. And I mean, and then the thing with Christopher, when we started working more on the piano, it was like exciting to me to do more piano songs, which lend itself to some more of these melodic things, and like the pop song, you know, like Baby Me is a little more pop and a little more, you know,
Yeah.
than, say, Slurls or the Funnel song. That's
this is world exposure here. This is our little mascot, W.Ed Porter. He flies in from space. Wow, look at that. And he brings us questions from all over the world from fans. And wow, today he flew in from Colorado, where I recently interviewed a jazz group, Analog Sun. So they were way up there in the mountains, and they were a good interview, and they will be on our show, worldxcd.com. So there's a question from a fan, and they want to know that between the three of you, if you could perform at any festival or award show, what would it be? It could be now, or it could be a long time ago.
Well, the sort of brat me would be like the Grammys.
Yeah, really.
You know, because I deserve to be up there. And then the other part of me would be like, you know, at some sort of like, you know, I don't know, political, like, shut it down type rally or something.
Oh, that would be cool.
What, Chicago 1968?
Yeah, like Chicago 1968, standing with Abby Hoffman or something.
Oh, that would be cool.
Well, yeah, I think. And Jules, or, you know, somewhere in South America, I guess. Yeah, somewhere as far away from Minnesota, nice as you could get. What do you say?
I think in Argentina it would be great.
Argentina, yeah.
So where can fans find all about you?
TheLonesomeKid.com. www.thelonесomekid.com. I guess that'd be the place.
Oh,
Yep.
perfect. Well, I want to thank you again, Jules, Christopher, and Gretchen of The Lonesome Kid from Minneapolis, for joining us here today on World Exposure with Cher Dial.
Okay, thank you so much, Cher.
We're the Lonesome Kid from Minneapolis, and you're watching World Exposure
with Cher Dial.
Pretty good around the block, the snake, the pinch. Porter comes in a tent, Joe smokes, reads some notes. Mitchie showed his new shoes, put 'em up in the air. Smile, gold tooth, Miss Shirley says you guys need to stop.